All right. Hello again. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Um, you know, but I'm gonna try and do some more stuff again. So here we go. Let's see. I found this and I thought it would be very entertaining. So I wanna see this one.
There was a time in my life when I was angry, bitter, and deeply unhappy. I wanted to lash out at the whole fascist system, the greedy, heartless power structure that didn't care about me or the rest of society's innocent victims.
Ye- well, I'll
A
just I'll just let
system
him
that had
I'll just let him
robbed,
describe a little more.
beaten, and stolen from my ancestors.
Are you a Gabrielle Nadalis? Are you a I don't know who his ancestors are, but if they're Native American, Nadalis, I don't know. Maybe he's Hispanic. But if he's Native American, it definitely did
The whole corrupt
um
edifice deserved to be
steal from
brought
him.
down, reduced to rubble. I was a perfect recruit for Antifa, the left wing group which claims to fight against fascism.
Is this gonna be like they're the real fascists and stuff? Cause oh god. But let's see. Who Nadalis is Nadalis like? Let's just look this up really quickly. I just want to know who is. This isn't super important, but let's see. It comes from Nadale. Comes from Italy. Um, it's not telling me Nadales. I don't know. Anyways, it's not super important.
And so I became a member. Now I was one of those who had the guts to fight against the fascists.
They, I mean, they make Antifa sound like this giant thing, and like it's really not. Like it's not even really an organization. That's what's fascinating about it.
Who were exploiting disadvantaged people.
Like fascinating
I
about
wasn't a
the
card carrying anti
conversation.
fascist. There's no such thing as an official Antifa membership.
Okay, cool. He did mention that. I thought they were gonna
But
portray
I
it as a
was ready
group.
at a moment's notice to slip on the black mask and march in what Antifa calls the Black Bloc, a
Mm-hmm.
cadre of other black clad Antifa members to taunt police and destroy property. Antifa stands for anti fascist, but that's purposefully deceptive.
Purposefully deceptive. I something tells me that's not. Uh, something tells me they're not fascist. I think we're gonna have to dive into this in a minute.
For one thing, the very name is calibrated so that anyone who dares to criticize the group or its tactics can be labeled fascist. This allows
Well,
Antifa to justify violence against all who dare stand up or speak.
well, if you're criticizing an anti-fascist group, sometimes that might mean if you're criticizing anti-fascist ideology, sometimes that might mean that you might be
Out against them.
a
A few
fascist.
groups
Huh?
boldly declare themselves Antifa, like Rose City Antifa in Portland,
Yeah, there's a
but
few.
most don't, preferring to avoid the negative publicity. That's part of Antifa's appeal and strength.
So Antifa's appeal and strength is that it is simultaneously an organization that loves to use its name in order to be able to bash anyone who's not fascist, and also it's an organization that does not want to use its name because of the negative publicity associated with the name Antifa.
It's hard to pin down. There is no identifiable leader.
Yeah, because it's not really a group.
To be part of Antifa, you must adopt two basic principles. First, you have to have the mentality of an anti fascist.
How do you know? Like you're saying like you have to have these things to join. Like you could just say you're a member of Antifa. And like what are they going to do? Like there's no group to join. Like who's vetting you for this?
And second, you must be willing to enforce that mentality. To adopt an anti fascist mentality means to reject everything that is fascism. But that begs the question, what is fascism?
That is a very
Well, most
defined
Americans
answer for
associate
that.
fascism with Nazi Germany or modern dictatorial states like Venezuela, China,
No, no, no. No, 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 no. Venezuela and China are not fascist.
and North Korea.
No. No. None of those are fascist. None of those are fascist. This is that's not that's no, those are authoritarian. Those are not fascist. Look, fascism is a form, yeah, literally, fascism is a form of far right authoritarian ultranationalism ideology characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and strong regimentation of society and the economy, which gained prominence in early 20th century Europe. It's not, it's not, it's not it's not, you're not going to call China fascist. Social hierarchy and the rule of elites, like they function very authoritarian, but they're not fascist. Oh my goodness. No, those are not those are no fascist. The closest thing to fascist today in the world is probably like I think of Hungary, um, with Viktor Orban's. I think of Brazil with Jair Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro. Trump was close, but not as close as they are. Um, Trying to think of other people. But China and North Korea are not, and Venezuela is not a fascist country. You see, this is the thing, right? Right? Like, is they'll be like Antifa is very far left, and they love fighting fascists, and it's bad that they want to do so much violence. But also, fascists are also left wing, and even though they both and Antifa is fascist. So even though they both agree, they want to fight them. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like the different talking points that you get on it that all combine together. It's just they're all like
To Antifa,
incompatible.
fascism means Judeo Christian values and capitalism. As
No, no, they. I don't. No, no, no. Fascism is different. They just don't like capitalism. I don't know what Judeo-Christian values are thrown in there for. I don't. I've never met like a socialist or a communist who specifically really cares about Judeo-Christian values. That just kind of feels like it's thrown in as like a buzzword kind of. But they definitely don't like capitalism. But I don't know if they'd say capitalism is the same as fascism. They might say capitalism enables the rise of fascism. But I don't think you'd catch any Antifa members saying that they're the exact same. At least none of the people that I've ever heard of or met or anything.
an Antifa group said on its Twitter account in 2018, the fight against fascism is only won when the capitalist system is smashed.
That's very like vague, but let's assume that that was a real tweet because I don't know why they couldn't just show the real tweet. But anyways, it's so vague. Antifa at Antifa 2:45 p.m. in the year 2018. Yeah. I mean, they probably would say that because they think that capitalism enables the rise of fascism because of inequality, and fascism preys on inequality and stuff and things like that. So that's what I assume the reasoning for it would be. They're not saying that capitalism literally is fascism. Um, but again, like that's sure.
And they mean smashed.
What?
Breaking windows, tearing down statues, throwing Molotov cocktails, looting and burning businesses, and harassing and physically assaulting.
So just as a side note, I love the little Antifa. Um, I love the Antifa like Instagram page. That's really funny, and I love that all the locations are tagged as Portland. Like, look, I'm assuming this is kind of like an indirect reference to the Black Lives Matter rallies. Which were overwhelmingly peaceful, over 93% peaceful, and any violence that occurred at them was just lumped in. So, like, if the right wing came in and shot somebody, like Kyle Rittenhouse, that counts as violence at a Black Lives Matter protest. So that 93% isn't even necessarily all Black Lives Matter people, Antifa people doing things like that. Um, and considering that 70% of political violence in 2020 came from the right wing, probably a decent chance that many of those 7% of Black Lives Matter protests were not necessarily um, even left wings people causing that violence. Also, Portland the rise in violence in Portland, at least over the summer, associated more directly with the troops that Trump sent in to, you know, kind of like arrest people out of nowhere, which is unconstitutional and things like that. Speaking of fighting against fascism, that brought more violence to Portland than most anything else. It seemed like.
assaulting people. We saw it all in the summer of 2020
Yeah,
in
here we go.
Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, and other cities.
Yep. See,
Antifa is
Black
not
Lives
solely
Matter.
responsible for all left wing political violence. Not every attack by left wing radicals
Like 8% max of. Let me think. Um. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Um. What percent from? Let's see if I can find it really quickly. Um. Can I look at this article? Will it let me? No, because the Times is dumb. Um. Let's see if I can. Can I find another article here? Um. Let's see if I can read Bloomberg. Let's see. Right wing groups. Let's see. Do they say what the exact number is? Um. This is the shape of far right violence. Um. The attacks are increasing but becoming more violent. It doesn't say what percentage of them um, are right wing or left wing. Unfortunately, I can't find that number. I know it was
an Antifa
90% in
attack. But
2019.
Antifa exemplifies the worst of this dangerous ideology, which is becoming bolder and more
It's
prevalent in
really
American
not.
society.
It's really not.
Joining Antifa was the worst decision
Think about how there's only 100,000 members of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. Like, if there's only 100,000 members in the DSA, or is that just DSA New York? I'm not sure. But the point is, like, there's not many members in, like, even the Democratic Socialists of America, and they're basically just Bernie supporters. Like, I can't, there's not, like, considering that numbers tend to drop as you go towards the extremes, and, like, in terms of membership, I can't imagine that there's that many Antifa people going around, like, literal, like, Antifa members.
of my life. How did I get out of it?
Even though,
Like
there's
anyone
no
who gets
numbers
out
on
of
it.
something bad, I encountered something good.
Oh, God.
The very system that I had sought to destroy. Friends, people who turned out to be my real friends, pointed me to challenging thinkers like Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, and Ben Shapiro.
Challenging thinkers like Ben Shapiro. Oh, true friends? True friends don't make friends watch Ben Shapiro. I'm sorry.
And
Find
eventually
better
organizations
friends.
like the Leadership Institute and PragerU.
Ugh,
What
God.
they said just made sense
Does it
and
really?
offered me a better way to live.
How?
Antifa and the radical left did not care about building a better society, they cared about control.
Look, I can tell you, um, I've met a fair share of radical leftists. Um, Nobody really cares about controlling things. People think that it's for the better. Nobody wants to like what it control what? Like what?
They could only offer me more anger, bitterness, and unhappiness.
Yeah, it's so
I
vague.
always
Like just
expected to keep my
emotional, like
past a
whatever.
secret. But as I saw cities around the country struggling against the rise of left wing political violence,
Again, like 10% of the political violence in 2020 was left wing or something like that, like 10 or 20%, like max. I don't remember the number. I know it was like 4% in 2019 and like there was more in 2020, but there were more attacks in general in 2020 than 2019. So like probably because 2020 was such a contentious
while
election year.
left wing and even liberal politicians said nothing, I
Joe Biden literally made a statement saying he did not like anarchists and Antifa. But yeah, I'm sure that they said nothing. Like the most prominent Democrat said he didn't like it. But yeah, Democrats definitely said nothing.
I knew I had to speak up.
Did you
If
really?
people like me who know what is really behind Antifa don't, the left will
You didn't even
obliterate
point anything
what it
out.
means to be a free American.
God,
So
I
here I
wish.
am,
I
and
wish.
here's my message. Young people don't drift to the left because they believe the left is superior. Most do because they have never been exposed to anything else.
I disagree. Most of the youth in America are left wing, and I think the reason for that is not because conservatives don't get their message out there, because they push it out pretty brutally. Like, look at this, 1 million views in a week, almost two, going on 2 million. I mean, this is a organization with probably millions and millions of dollars. I the idea that yeah, no, people just like the ideas more, man. Like, there's definitely awareness of Donald Trump, just left wing, and you'd probably love Donald Trump, and left young people just don't like him. Like, there's awareness, it's
Leftism
just not
has become
popular.
what Andrew Breitbart once described as the default position. The
Um,
American idea
no,
is more powerful than you think. It turned me or
if only. I mean, can you imagine if left wing positions were the default position? Like, Democrats fight against it all the time. Like, did you see how quickly Joe Biden just gave up on $15 minimum wage? Like, I don't think you can say default position left wing.
around. It can turn others around too. The core of that idea, call it the American dream, is
The
not about
American
money,
dream.
it's about freedom. That, ultimately, is the reason Antifa has to resort to violence. Because if conservatives are allowed to speak freely, they
Actually,
will
wait.
peacefully convert more and more of Antifa support
I guarantee you that that is not true because your compelling speaker was Ben Shapiro, and that's yeah,
towards the values of liberty.
that's
And
kind of
then
a joke.
Antifa will vanish like the nightmare it is.
I am yeah
I'm Gabriel
okay.
Nadales, the student rights advocate for the Leadership Institute and author of Behind the Black Mask, My Time as an Antifa Activist for Prager University. Thank you for watching.
Facts and sources. Quiz. You can take a quiz on the video. What? Take the quiz. Should I take a look at the quiz really quickly? I kind of think that'd be funny. Oh, I'm not giving you $35 is your minimum? Oh my god. $250? Do people really want to donate $250 to you? Study guide? What does Antifa claim to fight against? What is Antifa? How does it function? How can Antifa be stopped? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like a Fox News article. So that's their one source, is a Fox News article. Okay. What's the quiz say? Oh my god. Taunts police and destroys. There's no identifiable. Oh my god. Ben Shapiro only cares. What Ben Shapiro only cares about. Okay. Right. Anyways, that was interesting. Um, Thank you everyone for watching. And much respect to him. Dumbing down of America. And what? I think Huey Long was. Wait, one more thing. I think Huey Long was pretty radical, wasn't he? Maybe I'm wrong. No, he was a Democratic Party person. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else then. Interesting. I'm not sure if fascism ever comes to America, will call itself a. Long is also celebrated as a. All right. Well, we'll look up. We can look up that another time. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day.